is the go-home show for NXT No Mercy. So let's run down this list and then we can jump into the chat and get your thoughts and talk about what's been going down today. So we've got Joe Hendry holding a concert before NXT No Mercy. So we've got another Joe Hendry concert that's going to be happening, coming up. Then we've got Wentz and Wes Lee. They're going to be coming face to face. Obviously, we've got NXT this weekend. And honestly, I think the card looks good. I'm really excited for NXT No Mercy this weekend. Should be fun, right? Then we've got Wendy Choo. She picks a mystery opponent for Kelani Jordan, right? So looking forward to that. I know this is a taped show, so I'm sure there are spoilers that are out there. So this mystery opponent may have been revealed. Well, surely will have been revealed. I don't know who it is, all right? I don't know who any of this is or anyone that wins this, right? I've managed to avoid spoilers, and hopefully we can avoid them throughout the build-up. So Joe Hendry holds a concert before NXT No Mercy. Wentz and Wes Lee come face-to-face. Wendy Choo picks a mystery opponent for Kelani Jordan. Then we've got No Quarter Catch Crew and the D'Angelo family battling in a mixed 6-person tag team match. Then we've got Fatal Influence. They take on Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson. And then we've got Karmen Petrovic looking for payback against Izzi Dame. So quite a few things on the show tonight. The reason why it was taped last week is because of Bash in Berlin and No Mercy. I don't know if they're traveling and going to where No Mercy is being held. I forget where it's being held. But I know that there is disruption, which has meant that they've had to record this show. Let's just have a little look, see where that is. NXT No Mercy. NXT No Mercy is Bakersfield. Oh no, that's old. That's last year. NXT No Mercy 2024. NXT No Mercy 2024 is Denver, Colorado at the Ball Arena. So Denver, Colorado, No Mercy this Sunday, and we will be live for it. We'll start hours before as well. So let's go down and but just go through each of the No Mercy matches so that we're up to speed with what the card looks like. So Roxanne Perez against Jada Parker. That's NXT Women's Championship match. We've got Ethan Page against Joe Hendry. That is for the NXT Championship. We've got Kelani Jordan taking on Wendy Choo. That's for the NXT Women's North American Championship. Obafemi taking on Tony D'Angelo. That is for the NXT North American Championship. Chase U taking on Nathan Frazier and Axiom. That is for the NXT Tag Team Championship. And then we got Wesley and Zachary Wentz going 1-on-1. So 6 matches made for Sunday. I think the card looks really good. All of those matches look interesting to me. I do find it weird, Ethan Page, Joe Hendry being the top match. It's not long ago that would have been an AEW star taking on a TNA star. So it is strange that that's going to be, I'm guessing, the main event of this NXT show. But listen, if that's the direction WWE want to go, that's the match they've booked, then so be it. So yeah, we've got Ethan Page, Joe Hendry as the main event. And, you know, as I said, I think the card overall looks pretty good. So that's what we've got on Sunday. And yeah, that's what we've got tonight as well. Right, let's jump into the chat and get into the conversation about where things are. Obviously, the big news is about the NXT Performance Center. And there's lots of arguing going on now as to how true that story is. I haven't seen what Wrestle Talk have said, but Sean Ross Sapp's come out and said that he has not heard that that is what was said. So now we've got some arguing between the dirt sheets as to what is accurate and not. So this is really interesting because we've got WrestleVotes, who are a very reliable source. Like, they always post information about shows before the shows actually happen. For example, yesterday they posted that there would be something big in the Braun and Bronson Reed match, but it would not be the ring break-in. But there is a big spot planned. And then, of course, lo and behold, we get that spot with the car. So WrestleVotes, to me, has always been a reliable source. Their information has always been accurate. So when they put out that the Performance Center is moving to Las Vegas, I don't have much doubt that that information is coming from a good place. Very interesting. Sean Ross Sapp's coming out and taking a hard line on the other side, saying, this is not what I'm hearing. So these are two good, reliable sources. This is not a Dave Meltzerism. This is not a zero news situation where we've got like bad sources involved. These are, I would say, probably the two most trusted sources I use. Sean Ross Sapp and WrestleVotes. When they talk, I listen, because their accuracy has been so good. So the fact that they're now arguing, I think, is very interesting. So I don't actually know where we are with that situation. I've just been doing the Wrestling Escape Pods, so I can't give you the latest on that. Maybe you can give me the latest on that as to where that situation currently is. But from what I've seen, WrestleVotes is saying one thing, and Sean Ross Sapp is saying another thing. Word of Wrestling said, are you happy about Oasis tickets? 14 nights. It's going to be round the corner from my house. I'll be able to hear it from my garden, just like I did Take That, said Word of Wrestling. Yeah, I am excited. I was obviously up when the announcement was made. I was refreshing to see. Everyone knew it was going to be what it was, that it was going to be a reunion tour. But yeah, I was refreshing to get the details. And obviously then the details dropped. 4 nights at Wembley, but there are expected to be more announced. They're doing 4 nights in Manchester, a couple of nights in Dublin, a couple of nights in, I think, Cardiff. And they will be going around the world as well. It's a world tour, but they've only announced the UK stuff at the moment. Tickets go on sale, I believe, Saturday, but you can pre-register and enter a ballot for Friday, but you got to do that now. So if you are interested and you're in the UK, go to Oasis's Twitter account, their X account. There's details there. There is a ballot that you can enter to hopefully get tickets before they go on sale. So that's worth knowing. And yeah, I'm definitely going, or at least I'm going to definitely try and go. I'd like to try and... The problem I've got, though, is that I'm having to try and work out when can I go, because I don't want it to clash with a wrestling show. They're playing the 26th of July, and I'm looking at that going, is that going to be the weekend of SummerSlam? Normally, it's the first weekend in August, so I think the Saturday before I should be okay. But I'm like, oh, that's a gamble. If they move SummerSlam just a week earlier, it might clash with going to see Oasis at Wembley. So it's like, oh my God, this is a flipping nightmare. This is a nightmare. So yeah, I am excited, but it's a bit of a problem as well, trying to work out when can I go. When will it be safe for me to go? I really don't want to go on a Friday because I'll definitely miss a SmackDown. So I don't want to go on a Friday. I'd rather go on a Saturday, but I can't miss a wrestling show. So, but without next year's schedule, I just don't know. So, oh God, it's a nightmare, isn't it? I wish we could get information a bit more in advance, you know? I wish we knew when SummerSlam was next year now. That would really help me. Curtis said, what's your favourite Oasis? Oh, look at all this Oasis chatter. Mine is Half the World Away. Favourite Oasis song? Probably either... I love Columbia. It'd be something off Definitely Maybe. So maybe Columbia, or maybe Supersonic, or Live Forever. It's going to be something off the first album. But I mean, I was a massive Oasis fan when I was young. I can remember, this is sad, but I can remember when their 4th album came out, Standing on the Shoulder of Giants. When that came out, I remember listening to the radio the weeks before when they played the first single. They were going to play it like 7 o'clock live on Radio 1. So I tuned in and I heard the first single. And I remember being on the phone to my mate who lived down the road. And we were like, what did you think of it? Did you think it was like, do you think it's good? And we're like, yeah, it's really good. Yeah, you know, this is going to be an awesome album. awful album. Horrible album. The fourth one was bad. I mean, a lot of people say that Be Here Now kind of killed them. To be honest, I think if the fourth album had been, like, good, like What's the Story, Morning Glory, I don't think the third album would have killed them. But because the fourth album was just god-awful, they were done. That was it then. It was going to... I don't know that... I think there would have been a way back, but really they were done by that point. They have a really hot, like, 5 years. Because I think Be Here Now, the third album, has still got some good stuff on it. And all the B-sides, like we were just talking about that, like, I love that band. Big part of my youth. I said before, if you grew up in England in the 90s and you were going out drinking with your mates to the pub, then what was being played would have been a lot of Britpop, would have been a lot of Oasis, Ocean Colour Scene, Embrace, Cast, Suede, you know, those kinds of bands, the Charlatans. It would have been those kind of guitar-based bands. Blur, we spoke about Blur. They got rightfully a mention as well. Republica. There was just loads of like Britpop bands around. It was a very exciting time. Kind of felt like a real movement for a good few years there. And Oasis probably led the charge in that. So yeah, I definitely want to go and relive my youth. But did you see that Ricochet's debut? Said Mr. Ethan Arsenal. I didn't see it. No. I didn't. Well, I saw a clip of it after the fact, but I didn't watch the show live. Brony said, I'm relying on you for NXT tonight due to my phone power being cut from a thunderstorm currently happening in Michigan. Watching the stream is basically the same as watching NXT. Brony, shout out to you, my friends. Yeah, well, I'm really up for tonight's show. I mean, I'm up for NXT every week, but I'm up for tonight's show. It's a go-home show, and I think, you know, there's a few interesting feuds that are happening at the moment, and it does sort of feel like we're in a bit of a better place with NXT than where we've been. So, yeah, I don't know. I just feel really good. I feel, like, really positive. I'm excited for this show. I think the Oasis news has, like, lifted my spirits, gives me something to, you know, really look forward to next year, because I don't tend to really go to many places. I'm always here, so the fact that like there's a big gig at Wembley, it's pretty exciting. So yeah, I'm in good spirits. Wonderwall, I bought that in '95. Said Nathan. Oh, do you know what? I got a good story about like well, it's not a good story. I think it's fun. I've never bought hadn't bought much music by the time Oasis came out yet. And I remember I wanted What's the Story, Morning Glory, the second Oasis album. So I went to the shops to buy it, right? And I was so I don't know why I was nervous, but like I was a bit nervous buying this album, right? Because I was on my own. I'd gone into the shop on my own to buy the album. And I was like, okay, I'm going to get this. So I pick it up and I see the counter and I go over and I've got all my coins, right? I've got all my coins in my hand and I've got the album. And it had I think the reason I was nervous is because it had like parental advisory on it. And I'm going over to the counter and I'm like, what if they ask me like some questions or something? What do I say? Like, I want the album. But I don't know what I'm going to say if they ask me questions about, like, is your parents with you or something like this. I'm like, oh. And as I'm going over, I drop the money, don't I? So all the flipping coins go everywhere. And I'm like, oh, my God, this is a nightmare scenario. Part of me is like, just run out the shop. But when you're young, £10 is a lot of money, right? I think it was about £10, £10, £12, something like that. So I'm picking up all the coins, right? I've got my thing. I go over to the counter and I give it. And I'm like, I double check the money. And I think it's like, I think I'm like £1 short. I'm like, oh my God. I think I've not picked up one of the pounds. But I can't see any money more on the floor. And the person's got the CD now. So I'm just like I'm just going with it. Just have whatever's here. Just take it all. And like they were kids behind the counter, of course. You know, I don't even know that they really counted it much. I don't even know if I properly counted it, to be perfectly truthful. It might have all been there. But I remember them sort of looking at it and just going, yeah, there you go. And like that was it. and I had the album in the bag, and I was like, and I remember that in like, was that 95 when the album came out? I think it was. So yeah, I remember that. I remember being like all nervous and everything because I just bought this parental advisory. Guys, I'm a rebel. I am such a rebel. I'm such a rebel. So yeah, I've got loads of those kinds of memories when it comes to Oasis. I think a lot of people in the UK do. Like, it's really hard to express how big that band was. You know, they were. I mean, it's on the front page of newspapers over here that they're getting back together. It's been on the news. Like, the interest is going to be absolutely insane. They are massive. So Nathan, yeah, that's cool that you bought the single. I've got like some. I mean, I really do like them. I've got these, which I've had for years and years and years. It's a shame because I had to get them imported, but they look like Benson and Hedges. Look, they look like cigarette boxes. So I got that one and I got this one, but this one was imported and they flipping cut it so that they could see what was inside. How bad is that? Back in the day, back in the 90s, they didn't just open things up to look, they flipping cut them to see what was in there. Is there any drugs in there? No, it's all CDs, that's fine. So that one's been cut, which really upsets me. I don't know what these are worth now. Probably not worth much, but yeah, you don't see these. They're like Benson and Hedges cigarette boxes, but it's the singles. So inside you've got like the singles from Definitely Maybe. So all of these interviews disc. What's that one? Live Forever. That apparently is John Lennon's house. They took a picture of John Lennon's house and put that on the front cover, so that's pretty cool, isn't it? So yeah, I've got so many memories of growing up, like, loving this band. It is very exciting news. I only ever saw them once, and that was at Wembley in, like, 2000. Right. Put that back in. Boom, boom, boom. But we're here to talk wrestling, not Oasis. Right. My favourite Oasis song is Losing My Religion or Orange Crush. Brilliant. I also enjoy Man on the Moon or Everybody Hurts. Very good songs. MW said, Daze, in your 10th subscriber, can you give me a shout out? I'm actually your 10th subscriber. You're my 10th subscriber. Whatever. Out of the near 300,000, you was definitely 10th. Shout out to you. Is that true? Is that true? I feel like that's not true. But M-Dub, I'm going to shout you out all the same. Legendary You said, when is Stephanie Vacour going to debut? Well, I think we might get Julia first. I'm not sure that they'll bring them both in on the same show, but obviously people are looking at this weekend as being a big weekend for the arrival of Julia. I feel like Julia first and then Stephanie, I think, will arrive a little later. I can't really base that on anything, though. Because there's not really anything to base it on. I just feel like the hype seems bigger around Julia. And I think that they'll want to have her on the show this Sunday. So it might be in the crowd. She might just wave or something. It might be Julia in the crowd, and then maybe Stephanie gets involved after the Roxanne match. Maybe we do get them both on the show, but in different ways. I can't see them both walking out and, like, debuting, like, you know, that way. There's got to be an in the crowd moment where they wave. That's classic NXT, isn't it? So it can't be far away. She's obviously signed. She's already done some matches. Acom said, I toured with Napalm Death. Is there a great UK band? There was a great UK band, Cutting Edge, back in the 1980s. Acom, shout out to you, my friends. I'm loving this music talk. This is right up my street. James said, Daze, sometimes I have to remind myself to not look back in anger. Ah, very good. Very good. Mr. Ethan said, I went to AEW All In and I loved it so much. Well, I'm glad you had a good time. Wrestle Andy said, did you know They were discovered in Glasgow. I would say their best song is The Master Plan. Yeah. Oh god, what's it called? What's that venue called? Like the Wawa or something. What, Mr. Toots Wawa? It was something mental like that, isn't it? The venue in Scotland that was just like so good. I don't know if it's still going actually. I can't remember the actual name of it. My brain is telling me it's something like Mr. Toots Wawa Bar or Wawa Land or something like this. Is where a lot of bands have kind of played and been discovered, and it was a real hotbed for kind of upcoming talent. Such a shame, you know, because a lot of those venues are closing down now. A lot of those places just are really struggling to kind of survive, which I don't really understand why, because the internet hasn't killed live music, has it? So I don't really know why those types of venues are struggling, but so many of them have closed. Do you know, there was a place in Nottingham. I went to Nottingham for a training course, right, when I worked in retail, and I had such the best time. I mean, we were put up in a hotel. We would do work in the day, like learning and training, and then on the night you'd go out, have a few beers, right? And so we went out and we had a few beers and just had a laugh and just had so much fun. And I remember going to this venue, this music venue, that was just like a little staircase, and you went upstairs and it was just this little poxy room. It had a bar at the back, but it was just this little room. And they'd had bands there like Arctic Monkeys, and they'd had Oasis, and they'd had all these amazing bands play in this really tiny room, right? But it felt like the kind of place where you would discover amazing new bands. And those kind of places are going now. And I don't know why. It's such a shame. Some of my favourite memories are going to places like that. I don't know if it's still there. There used to be a chain of places called the Barfly. And I saw Block Party in London at Camden Barfly. And that was just a little poxy room upstairs. Tickets were quite expensive because they were just on the verge of making it. So they hadn't quite made it, but they were just, it was happening. Like there was a buzz around them. So tickets were quite expensive. I think they were like £80, which going back good 20 odd years ago is a lot of money. But £80, but you know, it's a room that could hold 100 and some people, you know? And I remember being right at the front, Block Party, playing like these massive anthems from their first album. Love that album. Yeah, brilliant. I could talk as much about music as I could about wrestling. I spent 15 years in an entertainment store, so but unfortunately my music knowledge is not very good now, because I've obviously just spent so much time talking about wrestling, focused on wrestling in recent years, that I've not kept up with music or anything. But that was a real passion of mine back in the day. So yeah, Wrestle Andy, shout out to you. What's that place called? Oh, Andy might know, actually. Andy might know what it's called. It was King Tut's Wawa Hut, and it is still, there we go, King Tut's Wawa Hut. And it is still there today. Wow. Yeah, brilliant. Thank you, Andy. King Tut's Wawa Hut. Right, Word of Wrestling said, Daze, did you know that the Head Shrinkers beat the Steiner Brothers in 1993? So Bron Breakker makes no sense what he said to Jay about his family. Oh, right. That's fun. That's fun. I could believe that. Both of those teams were around in 93. Akeem said, I was your 867,309th subscriber. Well, we haven't quite got there yet, but thank you. Appreciate the support, my friends. Mike said, so is NXT moving to Vegas? Well, honestly, I'm not sure is the honest answer now, because I only found out about the fact that it was even being disputed on the Wrestling Escape Pod. Tommy told me that apparently people have now come out and said that WrestleVotes report is not true. What I can tell you is that I was not at my computer when that news dropped from WrestleVotes. So I was already a good hour and a half delayed from the moment it had dropped. I went through my notifications, had a little look around. There was no one that was kind of countering it, right? So, and WrestleVotes, as I said, is a very trusted source. I don't apologize for putting trust in WrestleVotes, because I've said to you before, go to sources that you trust, go to places where you get good information, right? Don't use John's rumor mill or anything like that. And I think if you know anything about wrestling, you know that WrestleVotes are a trusted, reliable source, right? So I don't make any apologies for going with the news, and I showed their tweet in the video, right? So everything was good. Everything was fine. And then I did the Wrestling Escape Pod, and Tommy told me on there that apparently there had been some disputes, right? And I didn't get a chance to obviously look at it live because we were having other conversations. But as soon as it finished, I did just have a little look. And yeah, whilst we were recording the Wrestling Escape Pod, Sean Ross Sapp has come out and said that he is being told no such thing was said. So, as I've said earlier, this is really interesting that we've got two very big, very important, very reliable sources giving out different information. So, I'm very interested to see what WrestleVotes are going to come out and say. At the moment, they've come out and said their source is saying this. And now Sean Ross Sapp's coming out saying, well, I've been told different. So I'm waiting to see kind of how the dust settles on this. I'm guessing WrestleVotes will go back to their source and get some clarity on it, right? Because one thing about WrestleVotes is I don't think they're trying to pull the wool over anybody's eyes, yeah? I don't think they're trying to pull the wool over anybody's eyes. I think they are just trying to use... I think they're just trying to use the information that they're given. I don't think because they don't post all the time, or because they don't have like a newsletter, because they don't have anything that they're trying to, like, you know, run with. They're not trying to, like, there's nothing behind a paywall. It's not like, guys, go to our Patreon, we're going to tell you about the Performance Center. Because they just put out free tweets for anybody to read, and they don't put them out all the time, I don't think there's a reason for them to make up news. So I think they were legitimately told that, but we're just waiting to see how it all shakes out. Here we go. There's one here that I've not seen from 2 hours ago, right? I've reached back out to our source after the follow-up from Sean Ross Sapp. They are still confident in our initial report about Vegas. I'm told this is not an overnight thing, and it could take some time. So in the end, time will tell. WrestleVotes are standing their ground there, saying they've reached back out to their source, and they are still confident with what their source has been told. So Sean Ross Sapp has come out and said different. WrestleVotes are still standing by what they claim. And I'm going to go on record. I'm quite happy to go on record and say that I believe WrestleVotes have got sources. They've been accurate with information in the past. If it's going to come down to if their source is correct on this. If their sources... I don't see how you mishear this information, though. I don't see how you make a mistake on this information. I don't see how WWE go... Why would they go, we're thinking of moving to Vegas or something like that? Like, I get the impression something has been said. I don't see why their source would lie, and I don't see why WrestleVotes would come out with something that's not accurate. So, I don't know. This is a real tricky one, to be honest, because I don't know what the truth is or wasn't there. I know what WrestleVotes have said, and I do trust them as a source. And they are standing their grounds. So I would say the best way to deal with this is to be aware that this is on the table, right? This is apparently something that's been discussed. Where it goes from here, we're going to have to wait and see. But, you know, there's a bit of smoke around when it comes to NXT moving. And make no mistake about it, this would be a big deal. I said in the video that I did, some people might look at the Performance Center moving and they might think to themselves, I'm not bothered about that. Doesn't affect me. And to some degree, you would be correct, unless you live in Florida. Because if you live in Florida, that would take NXT out of Florida. Because if the PC moves, NXT moves. Because the people that are on NXT train at the PC. So if the PC moves, NXT moves. That means no more house shows. They do loads of house shows around that Florida area. They go back to certain venues and they run certain towns. There is a community of people that love NXT and go to the house shows and go to the tapings who wouldn't be able to do that anymore if NXT moves. Think about that Full Sail crowd. Do you know, if you want to go to NXT, you don't drive to NXT. You actually meet at the Full Sail car park still. A bus picks you up and then you get taken to NXT. So, like, these people have been going, or certain people have been going to Full Sail since, I don't know, what was it, 2012? 2012, they've been going, like 12 years, like going and watching either the show there or getting the bus there and then going to NXT. So for those people now to not have access to NXT because it's moving to Las Vegas or potentially moving to Las Vegas, that's going to be a big shock to that wrestling community in Florida. That's a big deal for them. And it will change the look of the product. It will also change the look of NXT because NXT, I think, would move to the Apex. I said in the video, why would you do this? Well, it's always going to be the bottom line. It's always going to be the profit, and it's going to be the revenue, and it's going to be the money that gets made. And you can see why it would make sense, because why pay for, I mean, at the moment, I don't know if they own all the buildings, but why pay for the operating costs and the electricity bills and everything, and rent if they are renting? I don't know if they do rent, but why pay for all of that when you can just pay for one building in Las Vegas that can serve all of the same purposes? I mean, the Apex, it's not used that much. I mean, what shows do they do from the Apex? UFC shows, I mean, they're hardly ever there now. They'll do one in a blue moon. So most of the time, that venue, and on a Wednesday, what do they do there on a Wednesday? I don't think they do anything on a Wednesday in the Apex. So on a Wednesday, they could run NXT from the UFC Apex, and it was good for that show. I thought the setup and everything worked fine when we did the show. That I forget what the show was, but it was a recent one, wasn't it, that we actually ran at the UFC Apex. I thought it worked good. So was that actually a trial to see, you know, could this work long term? Were they satisfied with the results? I tell you, I do wonder though, and I did just have a quick look, what's the population of Las Vegas? I looked, right, and it was 600 and some thousand. And then I looked to see what the population is of Orlando, and that I believe is like 300 some thousand. So Las Vegas should be able to support NXT. There is the kind of belief that a lot of people go to Vegas to go to the slots, go to the casinos, and then they go again. So they fly in and then they fly out, right? But there is a community that lives there, of course. I mean, it is a city in its own right. And so it's a good city as well. 600,000 is their population, apparently. So that should be enough to support NXT if it did move. Because you might look at it and go, there's not going to be a consistent fan base there. I think there will. Just looking at the populations, it's double the size of Orlando. So that there should be enough people there to support the product if it did move. The other thing as well, though, is I think they are looking to tour it a little bit more. I think they are looking to take NXT a bit more on the road. I don't know how much, because, of course, these are talents that need to train and learn. So you can't just have them on the road all the time, because when would they train? They'd be traveling all the time. So I don't know how much you take it on the road, but we know that we're going to Chicago with CM Punk. We know that we're going to St. Louis with Randy Orton. So we know that they are looking to mix things up a little bit. I think there's a lot of change coming to NXT. The Las Vegas thing, though, is a little up in the air. I'll be happy to admit that right now. Sean Ross Sapp has definitely cast doubt on it. But all I can tell you is that WrestleVotes, as of right now, are standing their ground on it. They're standing their ground that what their source said is accurate. Christopher said, Daze, I wonder if Tom Colohue is going to have any information on NXT moving to Vegas or not to Vegas. Well, I think, to be honest, this is where we're now going to get... I think this is where we're now going to get a lot of the dirt sheets looking into this. It's very rare for me in this day and age to see a story that I feel I can't sit on that. you know, Wrestling Escape Pod was actually a few minutes late because of the news of the Performance Center. I was having something to eat when the news dropped, so I wasn't at the computer. When I actually did see the news, you know, it's rare for me to have that kind of, this feels too big for unseen. I need to get this out now because I don't think it can wait. And I really felt that way about this news because I think it really affects the fans in Florida. I think it really gives you further insight into what TKO are doing since they've taken over. I mean, we've heard a lot about how they've brought the marketing teams together and they've brought like the HR teams together and they've like combined what the stuff going on at their head offices. So I think if they do combine the performance centers, it makes sense. They've done it in other areas. But, you know, it just furthers kind of the cost saving process that's going on, you know, so it gives you a bit of an insight into TKO and how they're working and how we're combining. You know, that was a big conversation. How will they combine WWE and UFC? And of course, everyone's first thought, or a lot of people's first thought, is, oh, do you think we'll get wrestlers competing in UFC? It's like, no, you're not. That's not how we're going to do it. How we're going to combine them is stuff like this. It's where they both use the same performance center. It's so that you don't have to have two. It's where you combine the marketing teams so that you don't have to have two. It's where you combine the sales teams, you combine the HR departments so that you don't have two. That's where you can integrate the brands. And another example would be, do you remember when they did UFC on the Saturday and they did WWE on, was it the Sunday? And they did like a weekend. And they kind of took over a venue for the weekend. Again, if you rent one venue for a weekend, that is going to be better than two venues for a weekend. So, like, those are ways that you can combine the two brands. So I was looking at that. I was looking at the impact to Florida. The Performance Center, when it opened, there was a massive fanfare. I mean, it's been huge. I mean, that venue is where WrestleMania 36 came from. That's where we did the bulk of our shows in 2020. Raw, SmackDown, because of the pandemic, all came from that building. If the Performance Center moves, everything goes, right? That's, you know, as I said, NXT moves, all of that goes. That just feels to me like it's quite a big story. That feels like it's quite a big story, and one of those stories that I'm like, I don't think I can just chuck that in unseen. I feel like this is bigger. So yeah, this is obviously a story which I've put out as a separate video, and then of course Sod's Law. For honestly the first time I can ever remember, Sean Ross Sapp's come out and questioned what WrestleVotes have found. I've seen another little tweet, actually, I just got tagged in by Spartan. Sean Ross Sapp said, WrestleVotes gets good information. They're nowhere comparable to Zero News. But again, this is really interesting because they're still standing their ground. They're still saying that you know, their sources saying this is not happening like tomorrow, but it is in the works. So they've not backtracked. Someone's wrong, aren't they? Someone's wrong. Is it WrestleVotes or is it Sean Ross Sapp? Someone is going to be wrong over this. Right. But moving to Vegas isn't shocking. The UFC Performance Center is there, said K-Dub. Would staff move as well, said Kim Strange. Well, this is the question. I mean, what do you do with Shawn Michaels? I mean, Shawn Michaels, I believe, lives in Florida. A lot of wrestlers live in Florida. I mean, the weather's fantastic, of course. I mean, I think the weather's fantastic in Vegas. But Florida is where a lot of wrestlers have made home. Las Vegas, I really honestly could not tell you the history of wrestling in Las Vegas. I'm not aware of a promotion that was based. I'm sure there are indie promotions that were based there, but major promotions that kind of covered the Vegas area. I mean, it's a show town, so I'm sure that there were shows that were put on there, but, you know, if you go back to the 50s and the 60s, I just couldn't tell you what promotion, like, you know, go back to the territories. I couldn't tell you what territory kind of covered the Las Vegas area. But what I can tell you is that wrestling and Florida has got a very, very rich history. I mean, Florida wrestling, it's in their bloods. It's just part of who they are. I mean, that's, you know, so many great wrestlers came out of Florida. So many great wrestlers call Florida home. A lot of wrestlers do. I think what happens is, and certainly, you know, in recent years, because I think a lot of wrestlers get trained in Florida, so they buy a house in Florida, and then when they go to the main roster, Florida is still their home. You know, so many. I think Alexa Bliss has got a place down there. I think she lives elsewhere. I think she might have a couple of properties. But there's a couple of, like, Hogan obviously lives there, and Carrion lives there. You know, I think Indy and, like, all these NXT talents that have kind of come up through NXT, they tend to have properties in Florida. And obviously, as you make more money, you get more properties and you buy other places as well. But yeah, this is big, because now all of a sudden, if it does go to Vegas, that ain't where the performance... I mean, think about when you need to recover from injury. You know, Florida. You go to the PC. That's where Randy was. It's where Punk was. You go there to... But now you would go to Vegas? If that is true, right? So it does affect quite a few things. What happens with Sean? What happens with the trainers? I think some of the trainers would move. You know, for example, if I was a trainer... I know I would be happy to move. Of course, if I've got kids and they're in school, I would still want to move. But you are talking about disruption there. You are going to have to move your family. So, yeah, I mean, you're right to ask that question about what happens with the trainers. What happens with, you know, Sean and... Bloom and, you know, Matt Bloom and the rest of the trainers, because that is going to be a real disruption to them. But we're going to have to wait and see, aren't we? I mean, it's so hard to know now where we are with it. I mean, I am still leaning with Wrestle Votes. I could take that video that I put up down, but I'm still leaning to Wrestle Votes because they've been good and accurate and I trust them. And if they'd have put a thing out saying, you know, our sources saying they got this wrong, then, okay, you know, a mistake's been made. And I would take the video down. But they're still standing by what they say. They're still standing firm. I believe that they have been told this. So that's why I'm not taking the video down, because I am still believing that there is something to this. But again, as they said, we're going to have to see how it shakes out. Alkaline said Meltzer took something Mark Shapiro said and he ran with it. Mark Shapiro said Las Vegas is a sports entertainment destination and a plan for WWE to have a presence there is on the table. That's interesting. I think they are interested in, as you said, Las Vegas. And it is the home of UFC as well. So you can see reasons as to why they would be interested in moving there. Let me get the network up. I need it for NXT. Daze, who was your first subscriber? I don't know. I genuinely don't know. That's not something that I saw. You know, when I was getting to the point where, like, when I first started out, I was getting a few subscribers a day, but I couldn't tell you who the first one was. I think, like, kind of you'd pick up a few at the same time. You know, I don't remember getting one and being stuck on one. I remember putting a video out and picking up, you know, a few from that first video, and then you'd get a few more and a few more and so on, you know. And so I remember Jim Gore is the first person I remember interacting with on the channel would be Jim. But I don't believe Jim claims to be the first person that subscribed. But I remember Jim, you know, Jim's been with the channel going all the way back to 2016. So this is why Jim Gore's like an OG. The OG. He's the OG. He's been on this channel longer than me. If NXT does go on the road, said Brian, does it matter about the coaches being at the PC in Vegas? Well, I think it does, because if NXT goes on the road, that's going to be the cream of the crop, isn't it? That's going to be your Trick Williams. It's going to be your Kelani Jordans, your Sol Rukas. But actually, who trains the next wave? If you haven't got the trainers that are in the PC now, who trains the next wave? So, you know, of course, the great thing is that there's lots of great people that you can go and get. It's not like there's just only one answer. It's not like that there's only one correct group of people. Like you could go and get loads of great trainers. But this current group that we've got that has done such a great, I mean, it feels like we've got the recipe right. We can take people that are athletic, that have got no wrestling experience, and we can turn them into wrestlers. We can do that. And that is pretty amazing, to be honest, that we have been so good at taking like a Bianca Belair, who came not from wrestling, but from CrossFit. And we were able to train. And look at Tiffany Stratton. You know, she often brags about the fact that she's only been doing this like 3 years. But she's athletic, she's agile, she's got a hunger, a willingness to learn. And, you know, to the moon. She's gone to the moon as a result. So it feels like we've got the right group of people doing the training. And so I think you can replace them. I'm not worried about these not being replaceable. But I suppose it's more, you don't really want to have to do it, do you? You've got the recipe right, so you don't really want to have to change the people out. So I would imagine this is, if this is what's happening, the kind of thing that they're looking at. But everyone's replaceable. That is sadly true of the world. Everyone is replaceable. There's always some, you know, it can be sorted, but would there be a bit of a bumpy periods? You know, would the next crop of talent not reach the same heights? You know, would it take a little bit of settling down? I mean, what happens if you kick up the dust like that and just move everything to Las Vegas? Like, how does that affect the show? I mean, NXT would feel different, wouldn't it, coming from the Apex on a regular basis? So, yeah, it's a really interesting one. It's a really, really interesting one. As I said, it's not often I get news where I really feel like this can't wait. Funny that we had 2 in a row, actually. We had the passing of Sid, and then we had news that they might be leaving Florida, and they might be... You know, there's only a couple of places in the world where WWE feel like they are based, you know, that feel like home. I would say their headquarters is one, and I would say that Florida is the other. I would say the Performance Center is, you know, is one home, and I would say that their headquarters is the other. So if we end up leaving, then it's sort of like leaving home. We're leaving home. We're flying the nest. Right. We should be... Oh, there it is. I was going to say we should be live, but we're not live. Okay, here we go. We are going live, baby. Then. Forever. Lovely. Sid graphic shown. Yes. Sid graphic shown. Okay, so we've got Fatal Influence. Let's do this, girls. There's Lash Legend. Okay, so we've got... Is this Fatal Influence taking on Meta 2? We got Jakara and we've got Lash. And it looks like this is where we're starting. Lovely. Trini, hello. Hope you are well. Miss Clown said a Sid graphic shown. The opponents tonight, they messed up. So we got Lash, we got Jakara, we've got Metaphor making their way down, and here we haven't seen Fatal Influence entrance yet. Okay, so they're making their way out. Fatal Influence. So it's, I don't know how I feel about this. I don't mind the name. They don't, I think part of the problem is they're not wearing stuff that's the same. They're all just wearing their own individual stuff. Jasmine's wearing, like, I don't like what Jasmine's wearing. But then she's not about to wrestle, is she? Does feel like 3 individuals shoved together. That's the vibe I'm getting. Just looking at them, it feels like 3 wrestlers that have been thrown together. You've still got Fallon doing a cowgirl thing. I wonder if, I mean, down in NXT, I wonder if they give them a budget to sort out their ring gear, because to me, if this is a new group, they should have a color scheme, and or they should have like a pattern. Like if they want to go with the leopard print thing, then they should all be wearing leopard print. Like I would have them all in the same kind of thing. Because here they just feel like 3 individuals brought together, which is sort of what they are really. Drop kick there by Jakara. Can't say there's anything that special about that entrance, you know. It doesn't have the wow factor for me. Shots to the midsection there by Jakara and a chop. I think they can get somewhere, though. It's 3 good talents with experience. I think, like, the group, I think, can get somewhere. Shut your damn mouth, says Booker T. Has anyone seen Dark Knight? Maybe he fainted because Liverpool have actually signed a player. Oh, who have they signed? Chiesa? Have they signed Chiesa? Who did they sign? Oh, if they've signed Chiesa, that's gutting for me because that's a great player. Back in the corner goes Fallon. Oh, they've signed a goalkeeper. Mamadashvili. Mamadashvili. Cool. Okay, good. It's not Chiesa. It's a boomer goalkeeper. Smash there by Fallon. Fallon going over against the ropes. Back elbow by Jakara. James said it's a keeper. That's not even a real player, is it? A goalkeeper. Unless you're talking about Peter Schmeichel. Big shot. Down goes Jakara. Think of all the outfits in Las Vegas. Oh, my God, yes. We could have showgirls, couldn't we? Let's go. I'm not saying that's what they should be, but, you know, if they want to, you know. Looking for a crucifix. Oh, we've got Fallon on the back. We've got JC on the front. Oh, that doesn't do anything, does it? What the hell's that? She takes them over against the rope and then hits their head off the middle rope and the top rope. Does that do anything? I mean, being chucked around, that'll do something. Kick there by Jakara, and again, down goes Fallon. It's just humiliating, isn't it? Against the ropes goes Jakara, through the ropes. Oh! Not the greatest landing. She sort of kind of came down with her head a little bit there, but she did manage to get enough of it. Well, there we go. This match underway. Showgirls and NXT Underground in Las Vegas, said Erasure Minds. Trini said, I don't know. Daze, a goalkeeper made a lot of difference at the last World Cup, to be fair. Who? Who made a big difference at the last World Cup? I feel like that's a knock of England, but I'm trying to figure out how. Are we talking about the goal penalties? We didn't get to penalties. We didn't make it that far. It's just stupid Spanish players being better than us. I mean, it was unfair. That wasn't to do with the goalkeeper. That was to do with the fact that we weren't as good. Cheated. Daze, please take Sterling. Oh, I don't know how I feel about Sterling. Daniel said, do you want Sterling? I don't, says Daniel. I don't think he's got what we need, as he hasn't got the pace. I mean, I think he would be a good squad player, but I don't get it. But then, I don't know, man. I'm really losing heart with Rashford. I don't know what the problem is. I don't know what's gone wrong there. He's been so good and then he's so rubbish. So, I don't know. I look at our wing, you know, we've got Ahmad, who's doing a good job at the moment. Garnacho, obviously great. Rashford's, I mean, what does he give you? He's just not giving us anything, is he, at the moment? Who else have we got? Sancho, but he'll never play. Palestri has been sold, has he? Sterling would give you an option. He'd give you an option. I don't know if it's a good option. Yeah, Sterling's not a bad player. I'm not, if we get him, I wouldn't be down on it. I'm not, like, horrifically against it. But, yeah, I think we could get better. I think we could go and get a better player. Days the Raw, Go Home was fun. Yeah, I enjoyed it. Yeah, I enjoyed it. Trini said, I would never insult England in football or cricket. Okay. You're a different story, though. What's your name now, Trini? Trini says, freedom is joy. What's this about? What's all this? Life lessons, like positive. Have you turned into John? That's the kind of thing John Cena would tweet out. How long until we get a Bellagio water fountain match? Oh, that'd be nice. That'd be nice. Do you know, I've got some cards from the Bellagio. Turns out, we didn't know. I remember asking my parents, I was like, we've never been to Vegas. Where have these come? They say they're actually been used at the Bellagio. And my parents are like, don't know. Turns out it was, they came from an ex of my brother. She had been, and she'd brought them back as a present. But none of us knew where they'd come from. So we actually have some cards. And do you know, it's amazing. It's even got a sticker that says these were used on one of the tables at the Bellagio. Which is kind of a fun little keepsake, isn't it, really? Like cards that were actually used at the casino. It's pretty good, that. Pretty good. I was quite impressed. Man United are going for Ugarte. They're going to sign Burge. Then along came the mighty Fulham and pinched him. Well, I think we're going to do better, aren't we? We're going to get Ugarte. Right now, Lash. Oh, backbreaker. Trini said, nah, I couldn't handle wearing jorts. In my mind, Trini, right now, you're sat there in full Cena attire. You're sat there with a bright shirt on, jorts, doing this. Just putting out really positive things in your name. Tomorrow, it'll be Trini says, say no to drugs. Trini says drugs are bad. Trini says, love thy neighbour. Right, this match is still carrying on. Alex Bliss Gamer says, Fallon broke her nose. Well, I don't think she's broke her nose here. I did hear that she breaks it. Has she broken it? I'm trying to... There might be some blood. Is there some blood underneath? She's down over against the ropes. She goes over. Makes the tag. Fallon charges over. Grabs the hair of Jakara. Nice. Netbreaker 1, 2. Kick out. JC in with Jakara. Fallon crawling around on her hands and knees on the outside. Yeah, I do remember that being said, Alexis Gamer, but I don't know if she's done it yet. Something to keep an eye on. Pulls Jace's hair. Tag being made. In comes Lash. Lash comes in, grabbing the legs of JC. Picking up JC. Jakara goes to the outside. Rolled through by JC. 1, 2. No joy. Super kick. To the outside goes Lash. Jasmine comes round. Goes for a kick. Lash grabs Jasmine. Oh, big boot. Big boot. Ref has got gloves on. That's a good point. That's a good point. That's normally when there is blood. Tag being made. Fallon getting into the ring. Boom. Going for the pin. 1, 2, 3. And that's the end of the match. Oh, she has just done that. Well, you wouldn't know. I wouldn't know. Unless it had been reported. Wouldn't know. Is there any word on Cora Jade's return? No, not that I know. I mean, we know she's been training. So it is a win for Fatal Influence. Let's get the scores. JC, Jasmine, and Fallon picking up the win. And there is Wes. MSK. So we just got a video package for Wes right now. Amin said, don't forget, we've got NXT No Mercy this weekend. Big Time Baxter said, WrestleVotes put up a fight earlier after Frightful debunked the rumor. We've touched on that, but gone through it. Dale said, Fatal Influence can take over like Toxic Attraction did, because Fallon is better than Mandy. Heel versus heel match that no one cared about. Okay, we are just looking at a video package. I think there'll be a few of these tonight. Obviously, this is a go-home show, and they did record this show last week, so I would imagine that means there's probably not tons of wrestling. So it's a good video package, this, actually. Just looking at Wes and everything he's been through. I think this is good for Wes. I think we could have run with the Rascals a bit longer. But I think him having a bit of an edge. I think it's time we get MSK back together. Yeah, we didn't do loads with them, did we? I completely forgot this was pre-tape, said I Am Your Father. If you've managed to avoid spoilers, it doesn't matter. I'm tired of taking care of you. I wish you all the best in your future endeavors. So, a real recap there, quite a long recap of what we've been through with Wes and Zachary, and they're going to be facing off later tonight, and we know their match is coming up at NXT No Mercy. This is Karmen Petrovic. So, Karmen Petrovic making her way down to the ring. Karmen Petrovic. Okay, let's get the scores for that last match. 71% was okay, 20% great, 5% all-time, 2% bad. That gets a good 98%. So Karmen taking on Izzi Dame next. Karmen Petrovic versus Izzi Dame. Friday. Berlin goes big this Friday. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Do we think No Mercy is going to be fun? Yeah, I do. I do. I'm really looking for Julia or Stephanie or some sort of surprise like that. And, you know, I think the Wes Zachary match has got obviously real heat to it, which is good. I think that Kelani against Wendy, down for that. Choo against Nathan and Axiom, that was a very well received match the other week, so seeing the rematch there is no chore. Ober against Tony, I think the card looks fine, yeah. Don't think it's going to be the most amazing thing in the world, but listen, I'll take that every flipping weekend. There's no mercy here, says Lola. Is Lola on the card, actually? She's on the video package. Is she on the cards? I'm trying to think. I can't picture her being on the cards. Roxanne Jada, Ethan Joe, Kelani Wendy, Ober Tony, Choo Nathan and Axiom, Wesley and Zachary. Surely they put her on a pre-show or something. She's got, she's all over the thing for this, the advert for this, but she's not, she's even on the flipping poster. She's on the poster. She's the main woman that's on the video, and she's not on the show. I reckon they'll find a way of shoehorning her in. Wrestling Pound said, I like Karmen. I just wish she carried around a bamboo stick instead of a sword. Daniel said, have we not already signed Ugar and sold McTominay? Not officially. I mean, it's in the works. I don't think that it's been confirmed by Man United. I heard that he was on his way for his medical. But I don't know, or unless it's been confirmed in, like, you know, the past few hours. I think it's a pretty much done deal, but let me go to Man United. Okay, we are at commercial break. No, nothing out of United yet. Imagine Randy dethrones Gunther this Saturday, says, I mean, it could happen. James said it depends if Stephanie's visa is sorted out yet. Good point. Daze, why won't you have the sounds of NXT playing in the background, said Julian. I'm not a fan of it, to be honest, because I think that you really run the risk of copyright. It's not something that we've ever done. I think the sound playing, WWE rightfully could claim copyright on that, because that is their copyright. That is the audio from their show. So I don't really get the legality of it. I don't really get why WWE wouldn't claim it. I don't know. for me, like, you could just listen to the show rather than like watching it. Like, quite a few people have it on in the background and listen to it whilst they're doing other things. So I don't know, that to me, I don't feel comfortable with it. So that's why. Right, we got CM Punk. He's going to be in Chicago on October 1st, and we've got Randy in St. Louis on October 8th. So those are going to be, I think those are the first 2 weeks that we go to CW Network. Here's Eddie Thorpe in a WWE ring, spinning the decks. What was that? Eddie's like, yeah, that's so good. Yeah, it was a real blast. Is that Ashanti? Ashanti has arrived. So there's a couple of girls around, and Ashanti's like, tell me which one's your girl. Is that, who's that? I don't know who just walked past. Is that Brooks with a chair? Oh, hello. So, Brooks Jensen with a chair. We're going to find out. Who did he lay out? Kelani, I have a special surprise opponent for you ahead of our title match. Can't wait to reveal who it is. Or maybe I can. So I don't, who did he just take out? Was it Kofi? It looked a little bit like Kofi. Russell Andy said, do we like Ashanti's new simp gimmick? It's okay. It's okay. I don't hate it. Okay, going over to our next match then. Petrovic against Izzi Dame. But Man United have been relegated, says K-pop lover. Okay, we've just seen an attack last week. Okay, Izzy is in one corner. We got Karmen in the other. The bell sounds. And we are underway. Kicks coming in. Izzy has got Karmen. Karmen throwing out a kick, going back against the rope, scooping up Karmen. Karmen on her feet. And she goes down. Imagine Roman ruins the match between Cody and Kevin this Saturday. I can't imagine that, to be honest. Roman's face, I don't know why he would want to ruin that match. That would be a bit of a heel thing for him to do, and a bit strange if we're trying to build him as a face. So I would struggle with that one. Seb said, are you a Joe Hendry fan? I think is annoying. I am not. I personally don't get it. I think I might get it if it had started in NXT. I'm very aware that if this character, I had watched it unfold and grow in NXT, then I may be on board with it. But I feel, I've said before, and I just feel like the joke started, and I'm late to the party, if you will. And it's like, I don't know, I don't find it entertaining. I don't find it fun. It's not for me personally. That's all right. Not everything has to be. I am capable of watching stuff that's not for me. And certainly see a lot of people having fun with it. So, 1, 2. The NXT crowd, live crowd, have seemingly taken to it. They really enjoy it. That was a horrific sit-down powerbomb, wasn't it? Sis said, Ashanti coming across like a real desperate sleazeball. He would get no play at the club, trying too hard to be cool, said Sis. Here we go. Torture act by Izzy on Karmen. Knee coming in there by Karmen. Boom. On his feet. On her feet. Over against the side of the ring. Chop. No joy. Cross. Oh, that was a little bit messy, but she managed to get it. She kind of like tilt-a-whirled and they just sort of fell backwards. Kick to the midsection. I think these two are very interesting talents because they're not at the top, but they're both kind of coming through. You could see this being for the North American, women's North America. They're kind of mid-cards. But I could see Izzi Dame getting somewhere because of her size. I could see her getting somewhere. Big shot there by Karmen. And again. Charging over. Boom! Big discus clothesline. Down goes Izzi Dame, who tries to kick out. But Kim said, I've known Joe Hendry for about 5 years. He's such a lovely guy. His agent is a close family friend. Spartan said, to be honest, people think every wrestler is annoying, but it doesn't mean that it's true, says Spartan. Yeah, well, every wrestler has got people that like them and don't like them. I mean, it's not realistic to think that everybody likes the exact same people. I mean, you know, we had the whole Team Cody, Team Rock thing, didn't we? Where people were rooting for We Want Cody, but then there was plenty of people that wanted Rock instead. And you're not going to get universal on anything. Boom, roll up, nice. 1, 2, Karmen gets the 3 in the end. Do you know, I feel like it was a little sloppy in places, but I feel like that's the kind of match you have to have if you want to improve. If you want to improve, then that's the kind of contest that you need. Like, you're really trying stuff, you're really pushing yourself. I feel like that's what that match was. Not everything landed. Oh, hello, what's this? Hey, let me in on this. And then she like so we've got no quarter catch crew. Both of you follow my leads. Okay, so we've got Dempsey grabbing his cup. Okay, we've got the Riz. We've got Luca. Hello, who are these boys? Who are these? Oh, look at these boys. We got to talk after the match. Oh, what's going down? They're really worried. Hey? They're really worried. Old slit throat Sid and Slasher McGee. They've got something on their phones that's a bit concerning. Akeem said, I don't know how Sasha Banks, aka Monet, whatever, she can be pretty annoying and cringe. Nathan said, I loved Roman in 2015 and everyone hated him. William says, I'm annoying. I hate the Miz and JD McDonuts, said Kim Strains. Right. Here is a little advert. Oh. The Indianapolis announcement. They still haven't announced when some of these shows are going to be, though. The iconic Lucas Oil Stadium. That must have had a previous name. Because I don't know the Lucas Oil Stadium. Did it go by a former different name, the Lucas Oil Stadium? Yeah, apparently it's iconic. Lucas Oil Stadium. It was only opened in 2008. Is it iconic? Perhaps it's become iconic in a very short space of time. Don't know. They did have One Direction play there, though, so, you know, perhaps that's what made it iconic. They did have One Direction. They played their On the Road Again tour there in 2015, so it's pretty iconic. Daze, are you enjoying the NXT TNA thing? If not yet, what do you need for it to be better? I think it's a mixed bag. I think it's a little bit like AEW with New Japan. If you don't watch New Japan, then you are a bit left like, okay, who's this? What's this? Why? Some people obviously that watch both are excited, and I get it. But if you don't watch both, then I feel like you do need to do a bit of work in helping me get on board, right? Like, why do I need to care? Why do I need to be excited? And so they haven't used loads. I mean, I will say it's not like we've had loads of people that have come in. But like, yeah, if we get someone, then I'm going to need to know why. Okay, what about them? What do I need to know about them? I mean, there's people that I do know that I would like to see. I mean, to be honest, I feel like the one I cared about the most we got first, and that was Jordan Grace. I really enjoyed that. That was good. Rascals coming out was like a bit confusing for me because I don't know the latest with Wentz. I mean, don't forget he was in NXT and then there was a whole controversy and he ended up being cut. So that's the last I saw of him. So the fact that he came back was more confusing than anything else to me. It wasn't a, oh my God, this is the greatest thing ever moment. For me, that was a, what happens? I thought this guy was like cancelled. But I know that he went to Impact and that he has been doing stuff there. But for NXT to bring him back, like that was, I thought, very surprising. I'd imagine he found it quite surprising as well. And now he's got a match at No Mercy. So, yeah. Obviously, they're not going to touch on that. They're not going to update people on that. But that's the last time I saw him, was being involved in that concert. That I just thought was a bit confusing. The Joe Hendry thing I don't get, but I understand he's a big star, and I think that has worked for people. But I would like to see, I think, Hammerstone. That's someone that I'd be interested in seeing. I'd have to have a look, see what their roster looks like again, to be honest. But there are some stars that I would be down for, like, seeing if they were to come out. Hammerstone being one. I don't know, actually. Let's have a look at their roster again. We went down it, and there was a few people I was like, yeah, I'd be down for seeing them. I think it really just depends on... Yeah, so Speedball Mike Bailey, I've heard a lot of stuff about. I'd be definitely down for seeing Speedball Mike Bailey. Again, I'm going to need to know a bit about him because I don't know anything about him. But I heard about his match with Ospreay earlier this year, and it was meant to be very good. So Speedball Mike Bailey would be one. Honestly, Ace Austin could walk out. I wouldn't even know what he looked like, but I've heard about him. Hammerstone. Wasn't there a woman? Oh, they had Killer Kelly, didn't they? I like Killer Kelly. She used to be in NXT UK. I like Killer Kelly. Killer Kelly. Josh Alexander, I've heard a lot about. Jonathan Gresham would be interesting. Mike Bailey, we said. That might do for now. Hey, Speedball Mountain is Trent Seven and Speedball Mike Bailey, so that would be pretty fun, wouldn't it? To get them coming back, get Trent Seven coming back. That'd be pretty fun. Yeah, there's a few there. A lot of the others I wouldn't even know if they slapped me in the face. They got a team called Spitfire. That's a good name. Okay, we got Jada and we got Roxanne. Okay, so Jada was being interviewed, but now Roxanne has interrupted. Those stories always end the exact same way. Disappointment. Miss Parker, a future champion, sure. You've got it all. Except for one thing. You're not the prodigy. I'm down for this match. I think it'll be a really good match. Obviously, we're expecting Roxanne to retain, but... Whoa! Mate, she just slapped her good! Who? What you doing here? I heard about you. You can get some too. Julia. Steph. I mean, clearly there was no one there, but they're definitely teasing that someone was. Julia, that's a big hint that we're getting some at this weekend. Massive. Mate, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. That was one hell of a slap, wasn't it? That was one hell of a slap. Oh. Right, let's go. It's, it could be Julia. It could be Steph or Delta. Oh, yeah, I keep forgetting about Delta. Delta. I don't know anything about Delta. I don't know anything about any of them, actually. I know a bit about Julia. I mean, she's been rumoured for so long. I've seen so many clips of her now. She's just obviously been in Marigolds and all that. Okay. No quarter catch, crew. And the family. I think Ren's been brilliant with these. She's really provided some humour as well. Okay, Charlie Dempsey is getting in the ring, Miles Bourne, and so is Ren. Jada's handprint was on Roxanne's cheek, said Dominic the Right. It was amazing, wasn't it? Amazing. Tayton said the Lucas Oil Stadium is where the Colts play, and it is where the Ohio State Buckeyes play. And they won the national championship there, and I was there for it. It was awesome. The Ohio State Buckeyes. What's a Buckeye? Buckeye. That like a sex thing? What's a Buckeye? It's a shrub. Is that what? It's a shrub. Like a flower, a plant. Buckeye. There are 6 species in North America. They're trees and shrubs. The Ohio Buckeye is a small tree with a short trunk and a narrowish crown, and they reach a height of about 50 feet. 50 feet? It's not short, is it? 50 feet, that seems big. 50 feet. That's a small tree. Well, I suppose they do grow bigger, don't they? That still feels big, though, doesn't it? 50 foot. They're very... This is a bit harsh. Harsh review. They're very odd... old. I thought it said odd. They're very odd individuals. They're very old individuals, maybe taller. Oh, I thought it said very odd individual. A bit harsh saying that about a tree. It is easily recognised by its compound leaves. So there we go. We've learnt all about Buckeyes. There we go. We're all learning today, aren't we? Right, we are underway with this match. No quarter catch crew taking on the family. Okay, Ren's in there with the Riz. Let's go. Oh my god, big chop there by Ren. And again. Oh, and a clothesline. Oh my god, the Riz is getting murked. Oh my, you shouldn't be treating the Riz this way. Kick coming in there by the Riz. Drop kick by the Riz. Kip up by the Riz. Shot down goes Ren. Ren spills to the outsides. So Ren goes to the outsides. Riz in the ring. Oh, hello. Oh, these two boomers are coming down again. Listen, they're like, Tony. What? Has Obafemi done something? Oh, he's gone. The Don's gone. Oh my god, guys, something's happening. Something's happening. I've watched enough wrestling to know something is happening. Corey said, if you like peanut butter, then Buckeye candy is delicious. This Friday at TNA Emergence, NXT's Riley Osborne has a chance to be the TNA X Division champion. AB Jobson said, no court catch crew is helping Ren more than she is helping them. Brony said, how has this NXT been so far? It's been okay. I mean, so far we've had 2 matches and you lot have both scored them good. So we've had good 98 and we've had good 95. So, yeah, honestly, okay. I think that Jada moment has been probably the highlight for me. That's probably been the highlight so far. But we're only 45 minutes in. Ohio State Buckeyes are a college team. I'm a die-hard fan, says Tatum. Corey said, I'm fat. You should listen. Corey, shout out to you. Damarian said, I'm in front of you. I'm at a commercial break. I am also at a commercial break now. You have no idea how much I want to get behind Jada Parker, said A.B. Jobson. Oh, I think I do. A.B. Jobson quickly trying to take that perv crown away from William Hensey. William said, it's when you put your hand in your own arse and press your phobe up to your stretched ball sack skin and you type comments in the chat. It's when you put your hands up your own arse, press your phobe. What's your phobe? Up to your stretched ball sack skin and you type comments into the chat. Well, I'll have to give that a go, William. I'll have to give that a go. I mean, I'll need you to just give me a step-by-step guide because that seems like a lot of work, to be honest. That's what Buckeye in. Is that Buckeye in? That's Buckeye in, is it? Well, you know. You know. Daze, can you look up the Ohio State mascot? We can definitely do that. Definitely do that. Let's go full screen for this. Okay. Ohio State mascot. Oh, hello. What is he? Who's this? What is this guy? What's he meant to be? What the hell's that? What the hell's that? Who is this fella? Brutus. Brutus the what? What's this? Is he a nut? Is he a nut? He looks like a nut. Chestnut. He looks like a chestnut with a body and legs. Is he? Is that Brutus the chestnut? You ain't being serious. What's going on? Who's this? Look at this. This is him when he was in the 1950s. Oh my God. Oh, look at him there, sad. That's... They had him crying. I've never seen a sad chestnut before. Oh, look at there he is chilling with his friend. Oh my God, this is goated. There he was sneaking up on a gladiator. Do you know, that doesn't look that menacing, but he does have a nut allergy. So that actually was a problem. That was a problem. Oh my God, look, you can dress up as the Ohio State chestnut. This is brilliant. Look at this. Look how sad he looks. How ironic that there's a picture of him crying, but here he looks fine, but it's him that looks sad. Wow. This is great. What the flip? What the flip? Looks like it's fan-made. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. They thought, we can't have a chestnut with arms. He can have legs. we'll give him legs. Legs is fine, but arms, that's too far. That is too far. I tell you what, he did well though, didn't he? Eh? Got himself a little cutie pie there, isn't he? Respect. Right, we are back. We are back. Daze, I think the Wyatt 6 is not finished with Chad Gable said. I mean, I agree. If you want to look up something scary, you need to look up Clemson the Tiger mascot. Well, we'll see if we get a chance to do that. We are back from commercial break as Charlie is working on the leg of Tony. Bridge him back, lovely. That knee is about to snap, said Booker. That's nice. Some classic wrestling from Charlie Dempsey. I wonder if Dempsey's ever met up with Gunther, because I think that would be a really good conversation for him. Because Gunther's got like a really old school style, and but has made it to being a world champion. And like, I think Dempsey's in a really good spot because he has got that old school wrestling, but he doesn't allow it to kind of get in the way of being a showman as well. I remember Gunther saying that Timothy Thatcher just couldn't work it out. He just did too much of the wrestling and not enough of the... Too much steak, not enough sizzle. Which is so disappointing, isn't it? Where you've got someone as good as Timothy Thatcher, but he just could not get the showmanship side. Everything he did was really good. Brilliant wrestler. Brilliant. Bell sounds, I mean, brilliant work, but it ain't gonna get you anywhere if you're not putting butts in seats. You got to sell tickets. You got to make the people care, and you do need a degree of showmanship for that. And I think Gunther's managed to find that balance, and I think that Charlie Dempsey's got a good chance as well. So I wonder if he's met Gunther and if they've spoke about. That's the kind. If I was Charlie, that's the kind of conversation I'd be wanting to have. How do you find that balance? Yeah, just accidentally missed Stacks. Ended up hitting Miles Bourne instead. Luca has come in. Luca unloaded. Luca's looking good, man. Oh, Luca's looking jacked. Boom! Collides into Miles and Charlie. Looking good. Didn't you meet the No Court Catch crew? I did. Yeah. They were really good. Really cool. I told that story about how I tried to ask a question and kind of botched it, really. I asked a question that was a little bit too... I made the mistake of asking a genuine question. I should have said, what's your favorite move? But instead, I was like, can you tell me about how it is, you know, improving? And like, do you, like, when you first start out, do you like call it in the ring? Do you get to a point where you don't do that and you just go with the flow, like, or do you have to do stuff in advance? I was trying to figure out a bit more of the process. Luca gets the pin. I wanted to know, like, you know, when you first start in NXT, do you have it all planned out backstage? And then at what point do you start calling it in the ring? And at what point do you, like, what's the progression like? At what point do you become a ring general? At what point are you the person that calls the shots? And I was trying to just dig a little bit into that ground. I wanted to just get a better understanding of, well, I mean, listen, for the first 6 months, 8 months, 12 months, it's all planned backstage. We rehearse the matches for, you know, the morning. And so we've got a good idea of what it's going to be at the night. You'd only call it in the ring if you're, I don't know. Maybe maybe it's never called in the ring. Perhaps all the time it's in NXT, it's always planned. I actually don't know the answer to that, which is why it was my question. And I asked the guy, and he was like, how do I word that? And I was like, yeah, that is a difficult one. And so he ended up asking the question of, how did you bring in the things you learned from outside of wrestling? So, you know, your amateur wrestling, how does that help? It was a completely different question to what I wanted, is what got asked. And he was like, is that all right? I was like, yeah, whatever. Fine, it's great. You did a great job. Thanks. I'm crying now. I'm crying now because it's not the question I asked. Hello, security guards that are almost certain to be future stars. Right. Yeah, obviously when I met them, it was Damon Kemp. He was part of it. Tavian wasn't. Daze, you're like the Robin Miller of wrestling. Robin Miller was fired by Indianapolis Star newspaper for controversial comments about the Indy 500 race. I'm exactly like him. Exactly. You're not the first person to ever say that. I believe we've actually had Robin Miller on the stream saying the exact same thing. What did Raw do? Raw did 1.8. That's solid, said Brony. That is solid. That's fine. Kim's choked. Kim's Chain said the Partick Thistle mascot is shocking. Oh, I have seen that. It looks like it was drawn by a 3-year-olds. Partick Thistle are a Scottish football team. Yeah. Look at this fella. I do think, though, that there was a bit of a trend where mascots were created to trend and create controversy, you know? And I feel like that's exactly what this fella is. Yeah, I think it was designed to grab attention. The most famous one is that, what's the thing? The big furry thing in America. That thing with the wobbly eyes. That's the one that I've seen probably spoken about the most. Can we just say, though, what a sick shirt that is? That is nice. Is that their current shirt, Partick Thistle? Oh, yeah, 24, 25. That's little cluttered. Actually, now, like, there's a lot going on there. If it didn't have this big C here for, like, copyright or whatever, take that out. That is a nice shirt. But that's too cluttered, isn't it? Now I'm looking at it. Too cluttered. Yeah, sucks. Daze, you need to look up the Purdue Boilermaker. What the hell? I swear you guys are making these teams up. Purdue Boilermakers. Who's this fella? Who's this boomer? What's he do? It's Triple H. Look at him with his sledgehammer. WWE speeds. Look at him with his legs. Look at his pasty white legs. Cool. I've never even heard of the team. Apparently they play basketball. Is a Boilermaker? Oh, trains. Got ya. Trains. Makes sense now. The boiler at the front. Steam trains. Oh, he's old then, isn't he? Why hasn't he got one of those curly moustaches? Because steam chains, that's like the 1800s. He should have a top hat. Curly moustache. What's his name? Is his name like Barry or something? Barry Boilermaker. Barry Boilermaker, and he needs a top hat. And he needs to drive a train. Does he drive a train? Mate, if he does not come out at each game on a flipping train like this, what are you even doing? What are you even doing? He needs to be Barry Boilermaker with a top hat and a curly moustache, and he needs to come out on a train. I've never seen him before, and I have never heard of this team before, and I partly believe it's all made up. It's pretty terrifying that he comes with a sledgehammer, though, isn't it? There's not many mascots that come with a weapon. Fair play. Barry Boilerman. I don't know. That's his. Oh my God! Does he come on a train? He might come out on a. Look at this. He's not on the train, but there is a train. Sick. Okay, we've got Ava and we got Ethan Page. I got some advice for you. You should suspend me. I've just got to figure some stuff out. I want you out of my office so that I can figure some things out. Okay, so this is going to be the face-to-face now. We are almost done with hour one. It's been all right. It's been all right. Here's Zachary Wentz. Look at these, some big security guards in there. My Robin Miller reference was meant as a compliment, says Arrow. Like, I took it that way, but that's how I took it. Okay, here's Wesley. I hope NXT security is better than Raw security. All wrestling security sucks. Here's Wesley. And he's got a lovely blue jumper on. Lovely. The greatest North American champion. Booze. He doesn't need friends. So we got Wesley, we got Zachary both in the ring. This is interesting. Obviously, these two have got history. Say what you need to say. Every team, every family, they break up in professional wrestling. I thought we would be different. It shows how naive you were. 9 years. He said a P word? Oh my God. I know I'm a bigger star than you are. We know that you're jealous. Why did you come back? It's for the NXT rub. Get this through your heads. You and I are on different levels. Is anyone from TNA going to win, do you reckon, this weekend? I think Wesley wins this, and I think that Ethan wins. MSK was one of the greatest tag teams in NXT history. I ruined that. I got to grow up. I got to be a man. It motivated me to pick my head up and dig myself out of that hole. I'm so glad I motivated you. He says that the nostalgia would have been good for a few weeks, but then I would have realized we're just not on the same level. Dave's mascot is Howdy the Hat. Howdy the Hat. I have a Haagen-Dazs strawberry ice cream. A.B. Jobson, well done. I'm very proud of you. I don't know. The Thistle guy from Scotland is pretty sick, said Akeem. You were getting ready to quit NXT for the 3rd time. What happened when you went through your back surgery? Who took you to physical therapy? Was it this guy? I bet it's this guy. Oh, that's a good line, that, isn't it? That's a good line. In front of these cameras, I couldn't be your tag partner, but behind the scenes, I was always your brother. It's a good line. You and I are just on different levels. What if he does show him that on Sunday? That'll be heartbreaking for Wentz. What if Wes just constantly outmaneuvers him, reverses him, and beats him easily? That would be a big blow. I'm going to make sure you fail, said Wentz. Trey and I were doing something you and I could never do, and that is becoming TNA tag champs. This Sunday, I am going to show you. Oh, you're nothing but a TNA wrestler. Can't imagine TNA are thrilled with that line. Where's the noise coming from? I can hear noise, but I can't see anyone making it. I think there are... I don't know. I don't want to say there's crowd noise being piped in, but I'm hearing reactions that I'm just not seeing from anybody. Here's Trick and Joe Hendry. Trick believes in Joe Hendry. I believe in Trick Williams. The greatest mascot ever is Hangus the Monkey at Hartlepool. He is over. He even became mayor, and that is a true fact. He became mayor. Here's Kelani. The Beach Kevin said Trick believes in Joe Hendry, but Daze does not. Well, if NXT paid me to believe in Joe Hendry, then maybe I would as well. But they don't. Right. I want to have a look at this flipping mascot. I want to have a look at this Hangus. Hangus the Mayor. What was it? Hangus the monkey. This guy became Met. I don't understand the story. There's nothing really special about this, is there? It's not like I don't look at that as being like a bad costume. It's all right. But he was so popular, he became mayor. Let's see if I can. Stuart Drummond is a British politician who was the first and only elected mayor of Hartlepool. He was elected in 2002 under the guise of Hangus the monkey, the town's football club mascot. He got re-elected in 2005 and 2000. There we go. It's a true story. He got elected a few times. He was, oh my God, in 2010, he was a finalist for the World Mayor Prize. Who knew there was a World Mayor Prize? These are like the greatest mayors. Love that. The Austrian mayor is the current frontrunner. Grigny of France. Rotterdam. There have been no British and no American mayors that have won. No British, no American mayors, but there has been a Canadian. The Calgary mayor won in 2014. How do you win? What do you do? What do you do to win best mayor? Oh man, that's a rabbit hole I didn't know about. Daze Spain club CD Palencia jersey 2016 was based on the anime Attack on Titan. I've never seen Attack on Titan. Did it have like anime characters on? There's a shirt, isn't there? Some Italian club that's like super designer. People buy it just because it's like an amazing design. They don't even support the club. But like it's really fancy material. It's just like super. I've seen loads of celebrities wearing it. They don't know anything about the club, but this club have got like this shirt that just looks stunning. Proper like looks like some at Louis Vuitton. And like all these celebrities wear it and everything. I don't know the name of that club, but there is some pretty wild shirts out there. Look up the Philly mascot, said Tayton. The Philly mascot. Oh, is that the one? Philly. Yeah, that's him. The Philly fanatic. Oh, no, that's not him. Gritty. Gritty? Is that the one I was thinking of? We've got them both here. So that's the Philly one. Philly fanatic. And he's the one I was thinking of. He's the famous one. Is it Gritty? Is his name Gritty? The Philly fanatic. Gritty. Yeah. So this guy looks fun. What is he? What's he meant to be? He looks like a vacuum. I don't know what that is. He's a fanatic. So there we go. We've dipped our toe into the world of mascots as we've got about 50 odd minutes to go. Flip back over. Philly fanatic and Gritty. Okay, where are we going to now? We are going to... Is this Kelani? Kelani! Kelani Jordan! Is she in a match? She's in a gear. Kelani. She's taking on Wendy Choo this weekend. Spinning rounds. She doing that bit. Do that bit. She normally does that. She didn't do that bit. I'm not waiting any longer, Wendy. You spooky McGrew. Is Wendy. Oh, this is interesting. She points at someone. Rosemary. Rosemary. Who's this boomer? TNA Rosemary. I have heard of Rosemary. I've never seen her. She's got nice hair. I like her hair. Okay, Rosemary. Rosemary's here. Okay. We found a way in. Has she been looking for a way? Has she been on the outside of the building, like desperately searching for a way in? Well, there we go. So are we getting this match, are we? Rosemary? What's her top say? Death Waltz? Is Death Waltz, is it? Does she not take her jacket off? Has she even got a jacket on? I don't even know what she's wearing. She's got a hood. She's got a hood! Does she always wrestle in her hood? Goes against the ropes. Okay. Boom. I always thought that Rosemary was going to be Sister Abigail, said Akeem. King Yeti said, try and hide your excitement. I haven't got a clue who this boomer is. This means nothing. You might as well have just got a girl off the street. This means nothing to me. Back elbow. I have heard of her, though. She is choking out Kelani. She goes to the outsides. But is this not the whole point of it? The whole point of it is to expose these people to a bigger audience. That's me. She collides into Kelani. She grabs Kelani. Bridges over. She seems fine. Kick out by Kelani. Akeem said, you should look into Rosemary. She's awesome. Have you seen that the Grateful Dead sponsored the Lithuanian basketball jet? No. But I don't keep up with Lithuanian basketball news, but Rosemary has got Kelani. She's trying to choke her out here. Kelani trying to find a way out. Back elbow there by Kelani. And again. Forearm strike to the back. Raheel said, Rosemary gives me Sister Sherry vibes. Nice forearm strike coming back there by Kelani. And again, another shot coming back. Akeem said, if Crazy Steve comes out, I'm going to have to fall down dead. Same. Lovely kick there. Love that by Kelani. That was nice. She stepped over and then it was like a Pele kick. That was nice. I like that. Kelani over by the ropes trying to get back up to her feet. Charges over, collides into Rosemary. And again. Back elbow. Kip up. Kick to the midsection. No, miss. Oh! Flatliner by Kelani. Drop kick. Rosemary goes down. She sits up. Oh my God. She's got red eyes. Oh, I like that. Spear by Rosemary. So Kelani did a handstand, springboard handstands. And she got speared by Rosemary. Rosemary grabbing double underhooks. Headbutt there by Rosemary. Alexa Bliss would have to be the 6th member of the group, said Arrowlock. Why would she take so long to return? Should we be hopeful that she'll be the 6th? Split leg moonsault by Kelani. Kelani gets the win. No, I don't think that the time it's taken for her to come back is an indication of anything, to be honest. From what we're hearing, it's just they're trying to get the right creative lined up. I think she will be part of the group, but I don't know that it means that she's going to come straight into the group. Okay, so split leg moonsault by Kelani. Gets the win. Who's that? I don't know who music this is. Oh, is that? So the lights go out. There's Wendy. Her face appearing on the Titantron. Oh, she's behind her. Wendy grabbing a hold of Kelani. Wendy with a sick smile on her face. Is that Wendy's music? I don't know what Wendy's music is anymore. So there we go. Wendy with that North American Championship. Okay. WWE is sucking up talent, said AB Jobson. Kelani wins. Kelani beats Rosemary, said Raheel. Yes. Metaphor. Here's Lexis King. Okay, we've got Oro. Noam Dar is the real daddy of Metaphor. A dad bod with dad jokes. Ooh. These two both talking about fathers and whatnot. Oof. They're brawling, so it looks like we're going to get an Oro Mensa Lexis King feuds. Okay, can vibe with that. William said, Wyatt 6 need an unstoppable monster. Who could possibly be this monster? I say Omos as the Fiend. Oh, I don't know. I don't know if people would be on board with Omos. I don't know if people would be on board with Omos. Omos, an unstoppable monster. I feel like they could have that. It is a bit surprising we haven't protected someone. I mean, could you imagine if we saw Rowan and Loomis constantly, like, dealing with the Creeds? And, like, you know, Gacy was just kind of stood back staring. I mean, then you'd have people going, why is Gacy not getting involved? Maybe when he finally does, he's just brutal. It's just brutal, just smashing people with steps and making them bleed. And Do you know it'd be really cool? Imagine if Gacy didn't take the mask off and he was smashing with steps and you could see them bleeding and he was like, oink, oink, or something like this, you know? I feel like you could make that quite dark. Quite dark. It's just absolutely brutalize someone. Oink, oink. I wonder if you could get that to work. It seems really cheesy. But I feel like you could get it to work if that's all he said. I reckon I could see the merch, man. I could see the merch. I really like that. I really like the idea of protecting one of the current members. I feel like all of them just get involved and they just club away, you know, the White Six. Like they're just clubbing away and fighting, whatever. I feel like you're right. We should have had one that we kind of kept back. I feel like there should have been one that we protected. One that kind of, oh my God, they've really messed up now. They've really messed up now. But I don't know that we quite have that with any of them because they all feel very even, don't they? They all feel very like they're going to go in and just throw hands. Do they need a monster? That's a really interesting question. In a way, they're all monsters. Have you ever seen the photo of Noel backstage at WWE? No, I don't think I have, actually. No, I don't think I have. I might be in the minority. I think NXT, being a developmental with a lot of green talent, should stick to 5 TV matches, focus on promos, video packages, and interviews, not 8 to 9 matches. I think it's hard, isn't it? Because, like, they're new, so they're not going to be able to go for, like, a long time. And sometimes it's about like getting people onto TV and giving them the experience of competing in front of a crowd and, you know, learning the cues. And it's really difficult. Like it is going to always be a balance. You can always make a better TV show. But then are you sacrificing the development of the talent? How do you develop the talent and deliver a good TV show at the same time? That balance is tricky. And maybe the balance isn't quite right. But I think the concern would be that if you cut down the number of matches, then you're not going to have as much talent getting utilized, you know? They won't get as many opportunities. But the counter to that would be, well, NXT only used to be an hour, now it's 2 hours, so they're only getting the same opportunities they've always had. That would be the counter argument. Right, we've got Chase U. I won't let anybody take these away. I'll always have your backs. As long as we've got... That's an interesting line. As long as we've got these NXT tag titles, I've always got your backs. But what about when they don't have them? What about them? We realize that we make each other better. There's no one in NXT that doesn't love Chase U. So they've made it very clear they want their titles. Here's Malik Blades. How can you expect them to improve if you don't let them have matches, said James. It is that balance, isn't it? Of giving them opportunity, but then equally trying to put on as strong a product as possible. I think the bottom line has to be, if you watch NXT, you have to have an acceptance that it is going to be a different product to Raw and to SmackDown. Because it is a developmental brand. And there are going to be people that are learning and that need that space to learn. It's just Malik Blade on his own. There's no Idris Enofe. He's taken on Brooks. Oh, is that who he attacked? No. Who did he attack? Brooks versus Blades. Brooks Jensen. He's really going through it, isn't he? Hey, he's a lost sheep, this boy. Earlier tonight. Ah, that was Idris Enofe that he attacked. Right, here we go. Blades comes crashing down onto Brooks. We are underway. Right, let's end our poll. Crazy thought. Imagine NXT and TNA having a draft like Raw and SmackDown, said Manuel. 67, 22, 6, and 3. So that was good 97% for Kelani Rosemary. This is Malik against Brooks. Fighting on the outside into the ring posts. Again, we've got Blades. Throwing in a big shot. Brooks goes down. He kicks out at Blades. Did he pull the turnbuckle pad off? Is there a bit of blood? No. Goes over, throws in a kick. He's wrestling in what looked to be like Converse. Drives a knee into Blades. Brooks just doesn't have no aura, said AB Jobson. Kendall said, I want to see the new Bloodline members hit NXT before they get onto the main stage, says Kendall. Brooks Jensen is in control. I've sent you some photos. You've sent me some photos. Where did you send me photos? Did you email them or something? Brooks throwing in some shots. Ah, there. They've just come through. All right, are those real, are they? How do I show these? There's Noel with Sheamus and Drew. Noel with Hogan and Jimmy. I wonder where that was taken. Noel with William Regal. And there's Noel on his own. Very good. Okay, Blade is doing well. Brooks is down. I'm liking everything about Malik Blade here tonight, said Booker, as Brooks is climbing up. There he goes over. Down goes Brooks. And he's looking to go for the cover. 1, 2. Kick out. Shoulder up. Charles said Brooks is lost with no direction. AB Jobson said, I think Delta debuts on Sunday. Nathan, shout out to you, my friends. AB Jobson said the 3 best matches on the All-In cards all had stories attached to them. Brooks Jensen back in the corner. He manages to get himself. That was good core strength by him. He's up top. Looking to, yeah, nice elbow drop there by Brooks. 2, 3. Brooks Jensen gets the win. That match had an all right pace to it. That was all right. Brooks Jensen more dangerous than here he is. Here's Javon. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Homie thinks I can't wrestle. But little does he know I can wrestle. Mate, I need a Javon Evans shirt. I need a Javon Evans shirt. WWE shop. I believe there is such a thing. Let's have a look. I love to lie, my hips don't lie. Let's have a look at merch. Gunther, Bash in Berlin, the Ring. Oh, that's quite nice. The Ring General. That's all right. Don't mind that. What's this? Memorables and collectives. Oh, that's quite... I like that WrestleMania 9 poster. Oh, look at these signed bits. 175 for a signed Cody figure. That's all right. It's only 30 odd more than a signed Asuka one. Hogan 288, Braun 87. Where was that? Where was that WrestleMania 9 poster? Imagine if that was signed by like Yokozuna and everyone. Oh my god. Oh my god. Hey, look at that. 384 for Stone Cold. Oh, that's good. That's good. Shawn Michaels 288. Undertaker 384. Where do they come up with these? That would be awesome if it was signed by both. Oh. I want the WrestleMania 9 one. Where's that? It's probably only signed by Hogan, isn't it? Won't be signed by Yoko. He passed away too long ago. I'm so distracted. I was looking for a Javon. Who's that signed by Seth Rollins? I'm so distracted. Oh, that's nice. That's quite nice. Okay. We want the young OG. Javon Evans. Bouncy. Javon. No. Evans. No. Superstars. NXT. Where's NXT? Hall of Fame. NXT. Oh god, they don't make this easy, do they? Oh, I'm bored. That's nice. If I was German, that's nice. Neat. Classic. Some nice stuff. But no Javon. Where's... Oh, what the hell? T-shirts. NXT. Where's NXT? No. Is there not one? This company. That's Euroshop. I wonder if there's one over in, like, I bet you lot have them. In America, don't you? Oh, yeah, I bet you've all got one. I bet you're all wearing one now. Bet you're all wearing them in America, but no, over here, no. Oh, that's fun. Look at that. $55 signed by Joe Gacy and Dijak. It is match used from Roadblock. Look at that, a bit of crate. I need a bit of crate. That's fun. Fun. 60 for a signed Trick Willie. Some nice bits here. It's shirts I was after. Nice. T-shirts. Right, we are back from commercial break. We've been at commercial break. We got Hank and Tank. Javon. Oh my god. Oh my god. This is a disgrace. This is a disgrace. We're basically a third world over here. Oh my god. That boy bouncy. I don't know if I want that boy bouncy on my shirt though, to be honest. What does that say at the bottom? It says that boy's bouncy. Hello, we got OTM and Hank and Tank. Euroshop is shiz. It is rubbish. There's always loads more over on WWE Shop compared to Euroshop. Awful. You ain't got no gold around your waist last time I checked, said Hank and Tank. So a bit of few words exchanged. Here we go. Here's Javon. Here's the young OG. Here's the young OG. Yeah, man. Young OG. Do you know what? It's so good when he comes out because you just know you're going to see something good. Young OG in the ring. This should be really good, you know, because this is... Gallus are quite hard hit him. Oh my god, what is going wrong here? Then we did it. Young G. Who's Young G? Young OG. Okay, here's Joe Coffey. Young OG against Joe Coffey. Let's go, Javon. To end strong, said Charles. AB Jobson said, I wish that NXT built better tag teams. I don't see main roster future for Hank or Tank or OTM. M-Dub said, do you think Uncle Howdy will take off his mask on the next Raw? Well, I don't think he'll take his mask off. I mean, we've seen Bo without the mask on. He did a sit-down interview. And he's been in the ring as Bo. So we've seen him as Bo. But I don't expect Uncle Howdy to come out and take the mask off as Howdy. We never got that with The Fiend. I don't remember The Fiend ever coming out as The Fiend and then taking his mask off. Joe Coffey locking up with Javon. Javon goes over on his feet, shoulder tackle, but of course doesn't win that against Joe Coffey. Joe Coffey's got a good size to him. You look at Joe Coffey, he looks like a wrestler. Again, working on the arm. Young OG goes down. Young OG still grounded, trying to find a way up, kip up, and he does get up, but lovely work by Joe Coffey, grabbing the hair, pulling the Young OG right back down. So Javon is down. Kip up there by Javon. Nice headlock, goes back against the ropes over the other side. Shoulder tackle. Javon goes down. Joe Coffey goes against the ropes. Oh, gets caught. Gets caught by Javon. Goes over. Nice. Yeah, good reversal, but could only get a 2 there by Javon. Throws out a kick. Flips over. Lands on his feet. Duck underneath. Goes against the ropes. Heads it. Lovely. Take over there by Javon. Very quick. Going over. Top rope. Bounce. Straight over. Joe Coffey mustn't know, like, where these attacks are coming from, man. Wolfgang on the outside. Moves out the way. Joe Coffey goes into the corner. Javon. Oh, big right hand. Oh, collides into Wolfgang. That looked a bit moody, man. He gets back into the ring. Joe Coffey. Oh, drop kick. Wolfgang desperately trying to get in the ring, man. Battling to get into the ring. The ring apron was flying up as he was desperately trying to get in there. Wolfgang is desperate to get his hands on the Young OG. Right, has Trick been on the show? What did he do? He was backstage. He spoke to Joe Hendry. But yeah, we haven't seen him other than that. Fiend always had the mask on. It was like a separate entity, said Erasure Minds. Akeem said, I can't get over the Rosemary debut on NXT. Brony said, Hank and Tank will be future endeavored before they get to the main roster. K-pop lover said, hey everyone, go eat pancakes. Hey everyone, go eat pancakes. Carmen Live said, I visited FYE. Oh, I'm interested. You visited FYE, the entertainment store. Was it good? When I went to Florida, I was pretty disappointed. But then I'm pretty disappointed with the state of physical media. I mean, for me, I grew up going to record stores. And I was never keen on vinyl. Because obviously when I was growing up, it was all CDs. I had a vinyl player, but CDs were just so much easier and sounded better. And I know people love the crackle and the warmth, but I've never had that nostalgia for vinyl. So for me, I was always going through CD racks. And yeah, I mean, there was also shows that came out in America that never came out in the UK. So going to FYE was a real treat because you could have a look and go through and find some stuff that we didn't have. But I went there, it's dying. It's just, the racks have been removed. There's a lot more pop vinyl, a lot more t-shirts, less CDs, less DVDs. It looked messier. It's heartbreaking, to be honest. Do you know, there used to be an amazing Virgin Megastores at Disney in Florida. It used to be in downtown Disney. And it was one of the biggest I'd ever seen. 2 floors, just, I mean, honestly, you could spend hours in there going through all the stuff they had. Long ago, it got replaced by, I think it's a bowling place now. Such a shame. So, yeah, FYE, the entertainment store. I do always go to the one in South Lake Mall. Was it any good, Carmen? Was it any good? Did you find anything? Did you buy anything? Was you looking for anything? What was you after? What did you go in hoping to find? Okay, we are back to the action. We got 15 minutes to go. We listened to CDs at Borders in America, and that was awesome. Yeah, we had Borders over here for a brief time. There was one in Birmingham. It was more of a bookstore, was it not? I think they sold music, but I know them more as a bookstore. But over here, we had dedicated music DVD stores. You know, we had HMV, Virgin Megastores, Our Price, MVC. There was quite a few. I'd quite happily just go, I'd spend a day going from one to the other, to the other, to the other. Using their listening posts, as you said, you could always listen to stuff, couldn't you? Oh, look at the height that the young OG gets. Springboard crossbody, but it only gets a 2. Good height. He always gets great height. Just chucks himself around the ring, doesn't he? Look at it. Look at that. Look at the... Oh. Beautiful. Hang time. That's me. That's me if I was the young OG. Here we go. Coffee collides into Javon. Javon bounces off the ropes. Almost gets pinned. Bishop said, I miss old school FYE when it was actually good. I built up my WWE DVD collection there. I thought Borders was a bookstore too in Australia, says Matter. Yeah, I think it was here. Certainly the one in Birmingham was majority books. Very much like Barnes and Noble. They have board games and they have a coffee shop and they have other things, but it's predominantly books. Perhaps it was different in America. Going up. Whoa. Oh, wow! Catches in midair. Was that like a cutter? I'd need to see a replay of that. Joe Coffey goes up. He got caught mid-air. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. The young... Oh, how did that not get a 3? Oh, my God. The young OG is too good. This guy's the future, man. This guy is the future. This guy is the now. Oh, mate, that's mental. Goes up. Oh, comes down on all of Gallus. He's risking it all. You've said this about Evans. He has to realize it's okay to fight another day. Goes against the ropes. To the outsides. Nice. Oh, mates. I really feel like commentary should be putting over this a bit more. These springboard stunners. And we've had outside interference, and that's going to result in Joe Coffey picking up the victory. But it's another showcase for the young OG, man. Hard hitting. Shame about the outside interference, but I suppose they were in a bit of a predicament where they didn't want either guy to lose clean. I don't think they want to hurt. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. It's mental, innit? It's mental. Jay said, I grew up with record stores and transistor radios. If Coffey makes it to the main roster, Sheamus should be his manager, said Manuel. It's the Gallus boys on top. Days, I found out during the A-Art Dub Pro event that I attended that they are going to be at Bulldog Park. Oh, here's Tony. What's this? Done. I'm sorry. Who took my room? It's got to be Oba. Who took my room? We're in the restaurant. There's Oba. He looks good, doesn't he? Sharp suit. He looks good. Is this how you want to handle things? You're my kind of guy. I don't need your compliments. I'm the ruler of NXT. Oh God, everything about Obafemi is just... The presentation of him is fantastic. You don't think I'm getting the message? Let's get straight to the point. Oba stands up. I'll wait for Sunday. I could lay waste to you and all these people. The Don versus the Ruler. This is going to be great. You had a hell of a run. I'm going to show everyone that you are mortal. I'm not sure he is. Many have tried, but none have succeeded. I once saw Joe Coffey wrestle Kurt Angle at the Hydro. Really? Damn. That is very cool. But then going to see Kurt Angle wrestle anyone is really cool. Right, Joe Hendry, I think, is going to wrap this episode up. I am excited for Oba and Tony. I think this has been a decent go home, said Big Time. Did you hear about the spiders that are the size of rats that are spreading in the UK and they're dangerous? No. Spiders size of rats, UK. And they're apparently dangerous. UK's biggest rat-sized spider is back. According to RSPA, the fen raft spider was almost at the point of extinction. Ah, we were so close. We were so close. They can walk on water. Oh my God, they're like the Jesus spider. They grow as large as rats and they lurk around lakes. They were on their last legs until recently. Guys, we could have got rid of them. Someone bred them and put them in captivity. And now there's around 10,000. Oh, God. You know, spiders don't bother me, but when they get to a certain size, then they become a problem. You know what I mean? I feel like most guys are that way. I'm not bothered by spiders. Fine, little spider, whatever. But if it's going to be like the size of my flipping head, yeah, that's a problem. And we could have got rid of them. That's very disappointing news. I'm old. Can you explain what Riz is? Charisma. Riz. Daze, I also found out that on October 26th, AR Dub Pro will be performing at the National Guard Armory. Well, that's great news. Karmen, keep us updated because you are single-handedly doing more for ARW Pro than they've done themselves. I feel like you are their marketing department. Need snakes to control spiders. That's what we need. We need to get some snakes. We need to get some pythons. That'll fix the situation. Okay, wow, really, we were real close. That's actually going to get a good 100% score. It's sadly just misses out on being great. Stay away from swimming in England, said Christopher. Daze said Riz, but didn't explain it. I did. I said charisma. That's where it comes from. It comes from the word charisma. Riz. Rat-sized spiders. That's where the conversation has gone, yes. I'm going to keep my American guns. You lot can keep the rat spiders. I'm going to get a gun. I'm going to get a gun just in case there is a rat-sized spider. Hang on, you've got horrible stuff in America. You've got alligators. I don't think we don't have them. You have alligators that are just chilling. Let me take you on a ride. Liv. Hey, you guys know me as Liv. Let me take you on a ride. No, because I don't know what else is in the car. And if we get pulled over... I don't want that on my records. For Beach Kevin, hello. Shout out to you. Daze, I once saw Bruno Sammartino. Did you? I mean, you could, because he was competing in the 80s. I once saw Bruno Sammartino and Undertaker take on Andre the Giant and CM Punk at Buckingham Palace. It was a great show. I've got doubts. I've got doubts that that happened. I'm not saying it didn't happen. I'm just saying I've got doubts. I wonder if there was someone in our community that did see Bruno Sammartino and weren't just making it up like a liar. You gotta watch out for Beach Kevin. You'll have Uncle Howdy after you. James said Emma Raducanu just got knocked out at the US Open in the first round. She's done. She's done. It's over. Her career's over. Big Time said, Daze, don't you live in the countryside? Maybe a giant spider's lurking underneath your beds. Could be. As long as it doesn't bother me, I'm all right. It can stay there for all I'm bothered. Just don't go near my face. Right, they're just going through the No Mercy cards. They haven't left much time for this final segment. I know there's an overrun. But we're pretty much done with normal time, aren't we? Daze, Bash in Berlin is going to be awesome. Yeah, looking forward to it, but have you ever come across the famous soap actress or actor from EastEnders, Coronation Street? No. Probably would if I lived in those areas. Coronation Street's filmed in Manchester, so if you was out in Manchester, I'd imagine that you would come across them. But I don't. Okay, Joe Hendry's making his way out of... I don't know what's up with me tonight. I'm just messing up names. No, crocodiles are friendly, said Aubrey. Well, the spiders might be friendly. So it's another of his concerts. Never smile at a crocodile, says Massa. Nathan said, Days, next time I'm at FYE, I am getting Roman Shredder. I love my tribal chief. Oh, are those out now? The new WWE Turtles figures? They've been wearing the gear, haven't they, New Day? There's a lot of arm waving. I just want to thank you for choosing to spend your evening with me. He's surely not winning. Surely. I cannot thank you enough for the support. There's a sign in the crowd that says, we want Zelina. Push Zelina. Okay, so there's a song for Ethan Page. I believe that's a G that he's gone into there. Maybe, don't really want to know. I don't want to show you how he stays in shape. He gets excited when he's playing with himself. Okay. I saw Bruno at a local giant egg grocery store, says Jay. Ethan sucks. Believe in Joe. Ethan, put on some clothes. If Joe starts singing Oasis songs, what will happen? We just have to sing along. So he's just repeating the line, but it's been interrupted by Ethan Page. We are done with sing along. Sorry, Hendry, it's Jova, says Aubrey. It's Jova. You want to embarrass your NXT champion? Okay. Joe is basically the new Roman, says Daniel. Exactly the same. Okay, so the crowd is still singing that song. I'm the NXT champ. Who the hell do you think you are? I love the NXT audience. They're fun, said Sis. I mean, you got to give them credit. They're up for it. You're not an NXT superstar, says Ethan. But I am. I know what's best for these people, says Ethan. What's best for these people is keeping you out of NXT. There's no sign of that happening. Who's coming out now? Ava? You should be flattered that Joe took the time to write such a special song. Do you remember I told you I had some things to sort? Special guest referee. He is here right now. Whoop that trick. Whoop that trick. Whoop that trick. That trick. Whoop that trick. Oh, look at the shirt. That trick. Yes, Trick Williams comes out. He's going to be special guest referee for this one. Got to get him on the card somewhere. Yeah. So, Joe Hendry slams Ethan Page down. 1, 2, 3. Do we think Roxanne will break Asuka's record? I don't know where we are with that, to be honest. I don't know how close we are. Pete Dunne. Hey, Trick. Consider yourself lucky. Don't think you're going to make it to next Tuesday? Does that mean that Pete Dunne's going to deal with Trick this Sunday? There we go. There we go. That was this week's NXT. That was okay. I don't think there was anything mind-blowing there for me, but it was okay. Oh, where's my thing gone? We've done all the scores, haven't we? Yeah, do you know, not one match tonight got into that great range. That's a bit disappointing. We did get a good 100% with the young OG, but it didn't quite make it, so it just fell short. Big Time said I thought it was fine. I'd be giving it like a 6.75. Daniel said I think that was a solid 7. Nathan said, I think it was about a 6. Well, we will put up the poll. We will put the poll up on the second channel so that people can vote. I think it's a perfectly fine go home. It's a go home. But, yeah, you know, this weekend looks like it's going to be good. Solid show, but nothing special, said Chitum. Eric said, I'm surprised Pete hasn't had an extended run in with Chase U and Ridge. Max said, that was an insane ending. Surely Trick will cost Ethan. Joe deserves the title. M-Dub's giving it a 5. Matt has given it a 5.5. AB Jobson said 7.5. James said, NXT's weekly matches have been a little flat of late. 6 said Kader. Aaron said 9.5. Big Time said, I'm genuinely excited for the CW episodes. Hopefully NXT catches more fire. We're just coasting a little bit. You might be right, you know. You might be right. This might just be us sort of coasting a little bit. I can understand them having some big things planned for when we go. I mean, listen, that CM Punk show, the Randy Orton show, they're going to be big. When we do make that move to the CW network, that is going to be big. Are they just saving some of the big stuff for when that happens? Don't know. You would think they would still want to have some momentum, though. But I don't know. I've said before, I don't think there's any sacrificing of the shows. I don't think they're trying to make SmackDown a worse show because it's about to move. I don't think they're trying to make this a worse show because it's about to move. It's in their interest to make the shows as good as possible. So I think they are trying, but I can agree that some of the real juicy storylines, some of the really good stuff, they are probably just delaying that for when we make that move. I can agree with that. So, yeah, I think this is sort of where we are at the moment. But listen, this Sunday, I feel like we're about to get someone. I mean, we had Jada and we had Roxanne talking to someone off camera, didn't we? So that fills me with confidence. It's not going to be us getting hyped and then it's not going to deliver. I'm very confident that there will be someone that makes their presence felt this Sunday. And so that really adds to the excitement. So... yeah, you know, the show was what it was. Fine. It was, you know, fine. But all eyes turn to Sunday. Daze, is that the same shirt from yesterday? Is that unsanitary? Well, it's not the same shirt. I just have loads of black shirts. Just loads of different black shirts, so I change my shirt every day. I couldn't wear this. It would be all clingy and everything. I couldn't. Amin said, are you going to do another Wyatt 6 Unseen? Well, I'm just going to have a look at what the news is, to be honest. I mean, I do a Wyatt 6 one if there's loads of talking points. I think we did a pretty good job of rounding up everything. I mean, we did a 20-minute, well, it wasn't Unseen. It was a Wyatt 6 one. I feel like this one probably will just be Unseen, to be honest. But until I actually go through what's happened and my notifications and get everything in the folders, I never quite know. But I would expect it to be Unseen. So, right, Big Time. How mind-boggling that there was even a theory that the PC could go to Vegas. All of a sudden, NXT likely goes to the Apex. That would have a terrible atmosphere as seen by Battleground and lightly weak crowds. Well, I don't know about the weak crowds because... the population in Orlando is 300 and some thousand. The population in Las Vegas is 600 and some thousand. So there is a large community of people in Las Vegas. So it seems like you could go and you could support a regular... I mean, there ain't loads of people in NXT. I mean, I couldn't even tell you the number that's there, but I mean, it ain't 200. I don't know, if that. There ain't loads. It's not a massive crowd. Like, I think you could find a community in Las Vegas. If there's 600,000 regular people that live there compared to 300 and some thousand in Orlando, then I feel confident that you could get an NXT community together. So, yeah, I don't know. I sort of feel like you need that community. You need people to feel settled, you know? That's a lot of people that go week in, week out. There's a ginger kid that goes that I see all the time in the crowd, so I know that there's like a community that's built up there. You'd have to rebuild that in Vegas. Because I think, like, you know, that makes it... You don't want just a different load of people every single time, but I don't think you would have that if they did make that move. Tony said, thoughts on the Monet fight? I didn't watch it. I didn't watch it, so I can't comment. All I know is that people were not keen on it. Could it be Cora Jade's? Oh, I suppose it could be Cora Jade's. Could be a return. Could be a return. That's a good shout. NXT Sphere, said Corey. Oh, that's interesting. Is the UFC Sphere show a failure? They haven't done it. I mean, I don't know what ticket sales look like for it, but they haven't done it. UFC 306 is more expensive than anticipated. So tickets for that are more expensive. I don't know if they're listed anywhere. The high costs. We're thrilled. The cost is exorbitant. White said he expected the gate to be about 27 million. The current live gate record is UFC 205, which did 17.7 million. He thinks the gate for this could be 27 million. Ah, wow. Apparently it's costing them loads of money to go there. I don't understand why. I'll have to read of that. This looks like a very interesting article. But yeah, the show hasn't happened yet. I don't know what ticket sales look like. Jimothy said Mercedes had a typical Sasha match. Britt made the match horrible. She's not close to being on the same level as Mercedes, says Jimothy. Tony said, what has been the best PLE besides WrestleMania this year? Well, I thought SummerSlam was really good. I think SummerSlam got an excellent score from the community. So I'd probably go with that. But yeah, WrestleMania I think was probably the best. But SummerSlam, did it get like a score of about 9 or something like that? Did well. Right, I'm going to go anyway. I've got bits to do, but big shout out to everyone that joined us. It was a go home. It had a few moments. The in-ring was, you know, not quite where we needed it, but hopefully that changes this Sunday. So we'll be back with No Mercy watch along, and we'll see what is next in the world of NXT. So big thank you for joining us. I'm going to go off and do Unseen, and I will see you again next time. Bye for now.